5 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and call this regularly scheduled Birmingham School District 2 Board of Trustees meeting to order. Casey Almeida will be here. Mr. Manning, will you please pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
So the microphone is backed by the camera today, so for those that are speaking or whatever, talk kind of looking towards the camera to make it easier for anybody watching online. Hear that? We've got a couple presentations today from Mr. Meyer later and people that came up associated with the projects. I appreciate you guys coming. Item 2, agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. So item 3, presentation from Mr. Meyer. How do you say it?
Mayor.
Mayor. Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Either one's correct.
Yeah. Teresa Fibosis has been here before. Nick, I don't know if you've got a chance to meet him, but most of the rest of you have heard his talks.
And where shall I be facing the camera?
Yeah, somewhere in between. Can you see him on the camera?
Not yet. Come in this way.
Come in this way?
There you go, right there.
Do you want me to face the camera or face you?
I think, I
Okay.
think,
You're
yeah.
close enough, they hear.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Chairman, member of district trustees, Superintendent Copeland, I want to thank you as one of our member districts for your continued support of Region 5 BOCES programs to students. The funds generated from your community through Mill Levy are essential and valuable to our program. Because of you, our children, some of the most in need individuals in our state, are receiving services, care, and therapeutic interventions necessary for them to become responsible people and contributing citizens. As part of your board presentation that previously mentioned, I've included several items for your review. My plan was not to go through them in detail, but there for informational items for you for question and answer, because I have been here several times. So a lot of the information I'm bringing to you is not typically, it's not generally new. It's just updated for the present year. So what I've included is presentations about our outreach program, including related services and professional development offerings. So just real quickly on that, what you'll read in there is that we've just really expanded our outreach services. So before we had CBRP residential program, but we really have moved into where we're starting to provide more site services. We're entering into speech language pathology and occupational therapy and looking to expand some of those services. We've expanded some of our day treatment programs. We're doing a lot of webinars for professional development. And we're just looking at a whole host of other things that we can do in our outreach program. We're looking at some Title IX trainings and offerings, the investigators, so things like that. Overview of Region 5 finances. This is pretty standard. This is what I've submitted to you, what we've refined over the years. I think it's something that's very helpful for board members. It shows where those mill levy funds are going, what we're doing with those funds. And so that document shows you the Region 5 goals and finances in a similar format that we typically provide it. How we use our mill funds, because I think that's something that you're most interested in. And just a reminder for those that are listening and as board members, our revenue sources come from 2 places. Mill levy funds that are contributed by our member districts and the fees for the services that we deliver. That's primarily it. We do not receive any state funding directly from the state for facilities, maintenance, basket of goods, ADM, anything that the district would receive in funding. So that's really the 2 primary sources. We do receive some limited funds like the neglected and delinquent fund, but I think it makes up a very small percentage of our overall budget. However, you'll see our budget is changing. I'm looking for grants and federal dollars that I can bring to the state, not ask the district to help enhance our programming. So that's something I'm working on this year, is to find ways to bring more resources in, so that's a little bit there. And then a little bit about the COVID-19 impact to our operations. Bottom line, it's hard to take kids. When COVID hit last spring, we removed our kids back so they could stay safe, not unsure what's gonna happen. We weren't gonna be doing much social distancing with the students we had, so we knew it was complicated. But once we got a better idea of what was happening, we started bringing our kids back. But taking and receiving and transitioning kids in a residential care facility during this time has been very difficult. And so our numbers at CRP have stayed pretty stagnant. I also feel like there's a lot of at-risk kids that are not being noticed, or our referrals have gone down. You can see that in state TFS numbers. So we're getting a lot of calls for placement as students. Our day schools have stayed strong and open. We've opened another facility, and we already have 10 kids at that facility, so we're excited about that. The last two documents that I provided to you are a formal request for mill support. So I'm here, you do not make that decision tonight. I think you do that during your greater budget discussion. Dr. Copeland, that's usually decided in July, right? June, July. So this is the official request to you to continue to support our programs through your mill levy support. And that's what those two requests are asking you. I will close by saying our new vision statement, we get to the heart of it. Creating and providing solutions to your educational challenges demonstrates our commitment to our member districts by meeting educational challenges through flexible, collaborative solutions to ensure student education is at the heart of all our decisions. Reach by Voices is here to serve and work in partnership with your district. I look forward to listening to hear how we can help you. So, Chairman, I can stand for any questions in the presentation materials out there, or really any question that you may have of me.
I have two questions. I'll start. So you started a new day school in Monroe?
Yes, sir.
How's that going?
It's going very well.
And when did that start?
That started last fall. We started it before COVID hit, and we were undecided if we should continue that. We had some districts reach out and say, "We hear you're doing this. Can you provide this support for us?" So we serve Douglas, Glenrock, and Casper essentially. It's going well. I think our major issue next year is I think we may outgrow our facility size. We already have 10 kids there. We definitely were in the black and budget on that. And that's what we want to do. We're opening that facility so we can bring revenue into our resupply policies to use those funds elsewhere. So it's going very well. We're actually so well. I have two other districts asking to open another small facilities.
All right. Second, you mentioned at the beginning that you're doing more outreach type of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess what's the impetus or why?
Because there's a shortage of professional people out there, so a lot of our businesses in special education, and they're hearing a lot of talk about efficiencies and stuff like that at the state level. But generally, for mine, is that our districts struggle finding sometimes service providers and different needs for the most needed population. So what I want to do as a service is try to find some solutions to those challenges, so that when your director may need a short-term psychologist, for example, we supervise your intern out there. That's something that we can do to make sure you can get a quality person in. It was a one-time thing. You didn't have anything to do that. That type of solution. So we may provide it. You may contract us with us directly to provide something to you. But other than that, it might be just to come in and help and just create more options for kids is what we're really looking at. And I really want to address the shortages that we have in the state for some of these services. To add to that a little bit more, that I see a lot of barriers to kids getting services. And one of the things I want to do as we look at how we can deliver it is try to break down some of these barriers. Some of it's licensure, some of it's different things like that. But what I know is that kids have some needs out in the communities, and it's hard to find these professionals to get those services there. So maybe we need to rethink how we deliver some of these services, find a cost-effective way to get these services and well-trained people in front of the students. And that's what I'm looking at, because the standard way, I tried the standard way for some of these professionals, it's not working for me. It's just not there. So now I think we're really working on how do we rethink how we provide service delivery to students, so we can come in and say, wow, hey, we've got some ideas on how they want to think about getting some students some language services. Might even save a little bit of money. The kids are getting their needs met, so we're not in shortages. Puts her at risk for compliance issues and things like that. So that's it, that's that.
So Dan, I know we talk about this like every meeting, and I talk about it here. Where are you in like, because I know you go and lobby for the state funding.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's ever going to happen?
I think so. I just got a draft bill for the BOCES. That I'm working with the legislator. It needs some work. And honestly, I think for in regards to the BOCES, what we need is just a little bit more flexibility. I think we have a really good bill. But there's like, I don't want your guys to right? I think that's a big, I don't want a piece of the pie that you guys are already getting. But here's a good example that we talked about. Here's when it came to the state. We're not gonna sit down on that. A lot of the distinctions of who, what that should be used for are the services we provide. But when we talk to the WDE, Department of Health, whatever entity, they tell us you're not this or you're not that. Well, so what the WDE will tell us is that we're not a local education authority, which is true. But the feds say that we can act as them for very specific purposes. So this statute would very limitedly allow us to possibly be called an LEA, not to compete for district dollars, and very limits on it. But when these federal dollars come in, they can be disseminated for us, so we can take some of this money and help do some of the work that we need to do with the kids that we have placed at our residential facility. Because it's hard. The rule says I need to come to you, you guys need to afford your care money to eat. That's how the laws live. That's how it's, and I feel like that's kind of a problem because you're my flow through it. That makes, so I think we need to find other channels so that doesn't need to be there. So I think some things are changing, but I want to be cautious in the changes that are made because I don't want to disrupt what you're doing. You shouldn't even notice it or feel it, right? There should be just an agreement. And the second part of that change would allow me to go get federal dollars. Here's an idea I have. Dr. Copeland was brought up as superintendent, you know, this after all we talked about COVID. Perkins money. They're making less money for us, and the requirements are getting more and more and more. Right now, if I want to bring a consortium of districts together that better utilize and pool that money, one of those districts would have to be that lead. Well, I want to take something off your guys' plate. I don't want to say, hey, Dr. Copeland, let's work together. You're going to do it. No, I should come in and say, can I bring you districts together and let's figure something out. This would also let me do that if I could bring people together to be able to do that and let me manage it for that consortium of schools. But the district could always do it independently. That always has to be there. Where you want to join, I can, and let me be able to do it to take something off your place. It's kind of the thought of that. So I'm hopeful something's going to change in that regard. That would be a big change for us because we have more options to go after other dollars that aren't necessarily state dollars to help offset our resources to provide our services. You know, not to come for real money, not, find other resources that can use is my goal. Does that help?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Because that's a hard thing when we have the bills coming in. It's like, what are we using for needs in our district versus, we feel like there's good things going on in the district, and obviously, you guys, Region 5 is growing a lot in some of these data centers, even just the last few years. It's been a lot of growth.
And my question to the board is, what are things we need to provide to you in this district? Because it can look multiple ways. And that's something that, we can think through, or I'm happy to listen and hear. different things that we can do to start creating value for you guys. That's what I really want to do. I want to help districts provide education to students. We have a particular niche with kids who have special ed needs, behavioral issues, testing, diagnostics, therapies. And that's kind of the level we want to stay in. There's a shortage in that. So we're trying to figure out how we can bring the services to the district, find our lane. You know, our lane is not being teachers, not coming in and, you know, we have a very distinct lane that we're comfortable in. And I think people, when we show up, are happy with that because we're taking some hard kids off the plates that need a sort of in. And then we'll transition back.
Robin, any comments?
Well, I just really appreciate the related services and helping us find that in the district this size. We have some of those more specialized services that we need. It is really, really hard to find providers. So having something like that where we can share with another district or do some teletherapy where they can serve different districts is really just the way we have to go. You know, one example, and this was before we had a service provider go on maternity leave. So we needed another service provider for 8 weeks. Well, that was almost impossible to find. We can't just bring in a substitute teacher. It has to be somebody that's certified to do that. So things like that are very helpful.
Any other questions? We appreciate you coming down, not wasting talking with us. Available. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you. If you have any questions, you know who to ask. Thank you for that. George is a wonderful board member. If you guys know, she shows up, she participates, and thank her. Thank you for allowing us to have her participate. So thank you, George.
I feel no compulsion to stick around.
Thank you.
Item 4, we have no correspondence. So item 5, I think skip A is going to be A. Yes.
Hey, we had the resignation of Scott Wolfman, effective August 31st. And certainly thank him for his service and all he's done, not only for the school, but just kind of the community in general, and he will be very much missed. Congratulations on him for his retirement. And actually, Teresa will be too. She's a big part of the community. That's why
We need a motion.
Mr. Chair.
With deep reservations, I would make a motion to accept the resignation of Scott Wolfman and thank him for his great service.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the resignation, retirement for Scott Volkman, effective August 31st, 2021, and thank him for his service to the school and the community. Been very grateful for this. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Carries. Item B.
5B is to consider offering a contract to Jordan Jansky for the 21-22 school year pending certification. His current assignment will be HEM. And you'll notice I've put a little background information on these.
During that move, that we offer the contract to Jordan Jansky for the 2021-2022 school year, pending certification for HEM signs.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to offer the contract for Jordan Jansky for the 2021-2022 school year pending certification, current assignment being HEM science. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Item C.
Item 5C is to consider offering a contract to Anne Marie Lamro for the 21-22 school year pending certification. The current assignment will be the multi-grade medicine for elementary.
During that move, that we offer the contract to Anne Marie Monroe for the 2022 school year, pending certification for the medicine role, Elkmont Elementary School teacher.
So moved and seconded to offer the contract to Anna Marie Lemmer for the 2021-2022 school year, pending certification, current assignment being multi-grade, municipal elementary, Oak Mountain Elementary school teacher. All in favor, say aye. Carries. D,
Mr. Chairman, consider offering contract to Todd Weber for the 21-22 school year, current assignment in the SMHS Industrial Arts.
Mr. Chairman, then that we offer a contract to Todd Weber for the 2021-2022 school year. Current assignment is the SMHS Industrial Arts. Second.
it's moved and seconded to offer a contract to Todd Weber for the 2021-2022 school year. Current assignment being SMHS Industrial Arts. All in favor, say aye. Yeah, thank you. With the comments. Not the, we're trying to second guess who you guys recommend. It's just nice to kind of.
Sometimes every day.
Yeah, which is great, but we just won't meet a lot of them for a while. So. Administrative reports, A, superintendent report.
You can read my report and I'll make a few comments. Our enrollment overall, just added one student, so we're still very tight. So holding fairly steady for this full semester. And so those figures are there by campus and by attendance area. And then item 2, I just reminded everybody of graduations, times and dates. Encampment is Friday evening, May 28th at 6 p.m. HEM's is Saturday morning, May 29th at 11 a.m. And Saratoga High is Saturday at 2 p.m. And so those are those times, and just let us know if plans change and you can't go, or if you want to go to one of them, it's not there, let Dana know and we'll make that change. Item 3, summer board meetings. The time will change to 6 p.m. and they're back in the central office boardroom. Just a reminder. Item 4, calendar approval. I did receive a formal letter of approval for the calendars for 21-22, 22-23. I think those are also included. We've already put the 21-22 on the school website, district website also. So that's out there. The only other thing I would add that's not on here is all of our high school students did very well into the regional track meet. And we had quite a number from all 3 of our high schools win the state this year. So congratulations to those students and coaches. Good luck.
Thank you. The principal reports this month, so special ed report.
I don't really have a whole lot this month either. We just earlier this month did our transition meetings where we meet with the preschools and the providers there, and then kindergarten teachers and related service providers all meet together just so we're ready for those kiddos to make them. And I think district-wide, we have 11 new students with IEPs, and that's pretty typical for the numbers. So I don't think we're going up a whole lot. We're not big. We did receive our district determination from the state, and that I had talked about it a little bit earlier after our special ed conference, which is that's where they kind of take special ed as a whole, everything from our graduation rates and our testing scores and parent surveys and post-secondary outcomes, kind of the whole, and put it together and give us a score. And so we got that for the 2019 2020 school year, and we did meet requirements and all of that. So as far as the state is concerned, we're looking good and we're meeting all of those things. There's still a couple of areas that I want to continue to work on. I had mentioned before, one of them is just our math growth with the special education kids. So we're working on that, and it's why that's happening. But it does need state requirements, so that was good news to see. Just the final special education funding changes came out after the legislative session, and really it doesn't do a whole lot. At one point, we had a cap on special education funding that was based on, I believe, the 17-18 school year. They removed that cap at the district level, but not at the state level. So really that doesn't do a whole lot. As a state, we're we're stuck where we are, but each district can kind of fluctuate a little bit if we need to. And then also, because of that cap, they had an extra $2 million set aside for kids that need to be put into a residential placement. And since there's no longer a cap, they took that away too. So that's kind of a 50-50 kind of draw there, because now if we do have a kid, that comes back to us as a district to pay for, but there's not a cap on our system. So it's kind of not much has changed with that. And then really super exciting news, our Title I, we got an increase of 94 cents. So, but with all of that, and joking aside, 94 cents for this, but if you remember me saying a couple months ago, overall our Title I money did go up significantly. That's it. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Item D, curriculum report, Mr. Manning. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my report is attached as usual. I have no curriculum updates this time of meeting. No business assessment system updates. It's been pretty quiet in terms of those categories. In terms of assessments, we did finish our spring YTOP summative and end of year testing window back on May 7th. That data is still being tabulated. I think we have preliminary access to these district-wide reports right now. That needs to be out on Friday. We will get our official results until June or July. But Dr. Copeland and I will start going over that information. We will share that with you sometime soon with you all. Other work mentioned in here, we had our May 7th in-service day, which was the last of the year. We chose to focus on CPI training, which is the Crisis Prevention Institute training, which most of you I assume are familiar with. We had 4 trainers spread across the districts. From all accounts, it seems like it went fairly well. We had good attendance. We expected all staff members to be there pretty much. We saw teaching staff members. We had some out coaching and things like that. Our feedback, we got some positive feedback on the fact that we did it at the end of the year rather than the beginning of the year, just so that we're not front loading everyone with all this information at the beginning of the year. It's pretty exhausting. We did get some slight negative feedback from some individuals who questioned the purpose of CPI training, but we just need to do some friendly reminders to them about that. It's written into our board policy. It's how we handle student discipline. And maybe if anything, I've seen a little bit on our fault just because we did lapse a little bit with the training to the staff members. Some had not been trained in more than 2 years. Factor in the pandemic for that also. Just trying to come up with a better system after that left the district. But happy to move forward from that. We had our district stakeholder meeting on May 5th. Thank you for those of you that attended. We only had 20 individuals attend, and none of them officially considered anyone outside of district staff members directly with the district. I had a terrible track record of attracting people coming to these kind of meetings. I don't know why, most of my personality or something, nothing to do at all with the topic at hand, the things that we can talk about. We talked about grants and money usage. I think Robin had a pretty good point about how we're using money appropriately with the money appropriately. I did make a mistake at the meeting though, and we accidentally set it up so that it was private for only people that were districts and keep people out at the beginning. Try to change it as quickly as possible. So I'm going to factor that in before I am there. So I think the meeting went well. We did a lot to try to advertise, send letters home, put it in the paper. We put it on the website. We opened it up to everyone. That's the recording still up on the district website. So you really like to see the results of that meeting. It's still up there, so you're welcome to check out the video and see what they talk about. The majority of the rest of my work, the last month was really just about preparing again for the next school year. We're currently involved in 3 different pilots for next year. One I talked about quite a lot, which is the SCED code updates for our identifications for all the courses that we're teaching in the district. I haven't heard anything about that since I submitted my last report a few months ago, and I'm happy about that because that's a lot of work and I have no idea what we're planning to do next. But then I've also been involved with the school improvement process process pilot with Laura and Stephen. And we have a meeting this Thursday about some work we've previously done. And then we were also invited to get involved in some MTSS, so multi-tiered system of support. We've been around education for a while. You've covered RTI, which is response to intervention, about how we deal with kids who are failing. And MTSS is the next step up that looks at how we help kids academically, and also looks at the social side. And maybe they don't have something good going on at home. How can we support them at school, help them find success? So we had some interest with some pilots. I don't actually know, but one of our northern elementary schools might be participating in a pilot. I kind of removed myself from there because encampment was also accepted into a different version of the pilot that I'm trying to head up with that. And there's a meeting about that today. So hopefully some good things come from that. And then beyond the pilots, working with Tammy B. Schwartz, some of you might remember her name 2 years ago. She has a company called Instructional Intensity that focuses on trying to help consult with schools about a number of topics. 2 years ago, we consulted with her about some progress monitoring tools for elementary teachers, especially, and how can we better intervene. So tied in with MTSS, how can we better intervene with how students are struggling. So we're looking to continue that relationship into next year, now without hopefully any further threats in the pandemic, and be able to get back to normal times. And so I'm still working with her on that process, but hopefully to do some of the things with all of our K-12 students in terms of interventions, progress monitoring, things like that, for at least English language arts and math, big two. And then just trying to work out a lot of the opportunities for teachers. So there's a lot of training, summer opportunities for teachers, trying to get some interest in, so that teachers can just expand their skill set, especially after this past year, we really weren't a lot of PE opportunities. But then also just looking into our annual feedback survey for teachers about what they'd like to see from PD. So we've already got some good ideas. We have a couple of things running next year already for anti-baby, anti-drug use, information settings for the teachers, as well as some classroom management. That was something that also a lot of teachers expressed interest in learning some about. And then we've got things in there like the SEL, the social emotional learning pieces that we can involve our teachers in, especially again after the pandemic. And then some other a lot of good information on what's direct where we want to be. Unfortunately, a lot of people want a lot of different things, a lot of different directions, and we can't meet all those demands. So try to make some. That's our work. Some questions.
Thanks. Okay, item 7 would be a chance for any public comment. If you have any public comment, just raise your hand and come speak. Introduce yourself if we don't know who you are.
Hello. My name is Sam McCreary. I'm here on behalf of Dean McCreary, who will not be returning as the Sarasota Middle High School language arts teacher next year, because the school board decided he wasn't the right fit. We were absolutely gutted when this principal told him this and gave him the choice to resign rather than let his contract lapse. We just bought a house here. We were planning on raising our 1-year-old daughter here. We really wanted to be a part of this community. Until you all decided he wasn't the right fit. And I don't know why he did that, seeing as he had recommendations from his direct supervisors to rehire him. Maybe as a teacher with a master's degree in English education, he was challenging your kids instead of coddling them. Maybe as an cancer survivor, with a wife and child care engaged and a 1-year-old daughter, he made your insurance rates spike. Maybe as a biracial person of color, he was bringing experiences into the classroom that you apparently want your children to remain blind to. Frankly, if it looks like discrimination, then class discrimination. But, as you know, he made the decision to resign rather than let his contract lapse. I'm not sure if that decision served us well. Our sense of justice might have been better served if we followed the ACLU, our bank account too. But when we talked about the possibility of holding the school board's decision under a legal microscope, he said it wouldn't serve the kids. And that's the man that he decided was the right fit. So what I'd like to know is, did you as board members make that decision with conviction based on evidence of his teaching, the recommendations of his direct supervisors, and an honest analysis of what was right for the future in 2021? Or did you just listen to one or two biased opinions taken from singular experiences? As a school board, your job is to form a clique who's in and who's out based on service characteristics. We've heard this is the first time that a qualified employee has been unceremoniously shoved out with little to no warning or explanation, mainly based on a personal grudge. Your responsibility, since we all know as a school board, is to lead with integrity and to make decisions based on facts, not the opinions that select you, no matter where they sit. So what I'd really like to know is, when you go home tonight, look at yourself in the mirror and say that you are the right fit for the school board. I just don't want to answer right now. But if you do come to realize that your decision was not made with conviction, and you want to be better for your employees of this district and the community that you're supposed to serve, I do believe that a written acknowledgement of present service would be a step in the right direction. Thanks for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you for coming and talking. Mr. Curry, that does take a lot of courage to come speak and say something. Thank you. Any other comment? Okay. We'll skip on. We have no other unfinished business at this time. So item 9A, new business.
This is to consider a lease agreement with CCSD and Construction Company LLC for 7 months with extension rights. We did attach an agreement there, and also just to expand this and do some general discussion of the had a track and field, football field improvements and reclamation. So I asked Joel if he'd like to come, Joel Breyer. I'll introduce Joel. He's not Joel Breyer, Joel James, that works for Breyer, who is managing the whole Anaheim reclamation area. He's also brought with him Dave Pendleton and Dave Gibbard. And I will just let Joel explain a little bit of background and kind of where we are on the part that it has to do with the old Hannah Elementary site and kind of what it's going to be used for, and answer any questions on that, and then further just extend that to the track and reclamation area.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Copeland. Yeah, I'm Joel James, geotechnical engineer for Rarity Associates. We work for AML, for Consultant Forum. I'm the construction manager on site. Dave Hibbert is our project manager. So what we're looking at is starting up another project, another phase in Hannah, and we're looking at using you guys' full elementary school site for stationary for CJ Union. And we're working through a couple issues right now, but Dr. Copeland has been supportive with a lot of our stuff, working through it. Sounds like the board is kind of on board, is supported with us in that area. It is crucial for the project just due to the location and close proximity of the area, due to just like not a lot of space being available to set up back and set up our construction materials for the contractor to perform the work. The project is not going to be taking place on where the stationary is. It's going to be taking place on the west end of town, picking up off of the phase we did last year. And so we can answer some questions on that if you have any questions or concerns. On top of that, we are working on a track and field this year. It's a phase coming off of last year's mitigation project, the Hannah Elementary School mitigation project. We're looking at totally rebuilding the track and field today. We've kind of started some construction actually in the field today that we got some of the trees. and kind of a big milestone for it. A lot of people were pretty shocked about that, but looking at the 20th of this month, we will start construction activities in the field. Go in and start demoing up the tractor field itself on the side, the tractor itself, all the fence, and then start the mitigation phases of the project. And then hopefully by middle of July, we have the football field back on track, so sods in place and football practice and resume. August, if everything was- so there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of subcontractors working with the general contractor to make this work. So it's a pretty big task. We have a really good team in place. And looking forward to get that done for you guys. So if you guys have any questions for me or for these guys, I'm happy to answer everything. It's been a very good pleasure working with Dr. Board so far. Stephen Greasy, they've all been really great, very accommodating, construction projects.
Just a couple of comments to add to Joel's. Last week, Joel and the representative of CJ Mann and myself went to the town council meeting in Hannah just to make sure they were aware of what all was going on. They had actually driven around with Larry, who was their public works person in Hannah. And they actually looked at other sites other than the old elementary site. And they all agreed that really that was the only suitable site and what was available. So the town pretty much was supportive of that. I told them that I thought we were certainly wanting to help the town get done with this project as far as that goes. And so I think we and especially Joel has worked with and talked to people, local folks there, and they're aware of it. And last year when they did the land around the Hannah Elementary site, they did finish. And I was quite impressed with how it all came together and stayed on schedule. So Joel, it's been really great working with Joel and all the others that are involved in that project that I've worked with. So I just did want you to know, I did a little background. We did go visit. I talked to Mayor Buchanan and attended that council meeting. I stayed. There were no public comments at that meeting anyway, against it or negative. I stayed to used to hear if there were. So it really is kind of in the middle of everything. They will. It's a 7-month agreement with extensions of 1 month each up to 12. So it could be a 19-month. They don't really expect it to be that long, but there's just unforeseen things. And so two of the things that is part of the agreement is to protect the monument that was just kind of done, actually. There, that either is on our side or the right of way. I'm not sure if I know exactly who owns that piece of land the monument's on, but to protect that and then to protect or do something with the community garden. So Stephen, with Stephen's help, we have been in contact with Ellen Freeman. I don't know, those of you probably remember when she addressed the board a couple of years ago about setting that up on school property. And in talking with with the CJ Mann representative, Mark, I was trying to remember his name. He said because of what they're going to do there, they have basically offered to relocate that community garden. So we've reached out to them just to see if they would be interested in that. Probably between the AG campus and the World Building, somewhere up in there. At least that's one spot that's available, and would also be a little closer to the FFA chapter up there, so there could be a little more partnership between the two. So they have some concerns, obviously, the timing and all, but he said, Mark just said, and Joel said, part of that offering to do that is for them, so that they're not coming in right in the middle of a concrete batch operation that creates dust and some things. They'll mitigate as much as they can, and we'll protect it if that's the way we decide to go, or the community garden folks. So anyway, I have a meeting set up at 1 o'clock tomorrow here at AGM to just meet with them and see if I can answer some questions. Basically see what they want to do. So there's where we are on that, and I'll keep the board updated as far as that piece of it goes. But if the garden stays where it is in the agreement that we protected, so they just have offered to move it. Mainly for their sake.
And
Garden sake.
and with the garden, yeah, there will be some costs to the chapter.
There is a fire hydrant up near the boiler room, which might make it easier to fill up those water tanks, so there might even be a way to tie into some water system up there. You know, right now, there's not a current water source on site, so they're filling up those big plastic tanks. The town, I think, is helping to do that.
And if I'm not wrong, like, the mayor and she was very supportive with relocating.
Yeah, she
left there.
She also asked us what our long-term plans were for that site, and that's what we would probably be discussing that maybe this summer, just reach out to her and see what ideas they might have. And then once all of that's done, they will completely remove everything and reclaim it to maybe grasses or whatever the wording is in there. So we did reach out to pretty much everybody that we could think that affected, and you know, it's, as best we know, everybody seems supportive of it, so we need to move forward. And I think most people in Hannah are very appreciative of this support for this whole reclamation project, but also just, you know, they're ready to move forward with it, get it done, you know, be finished, which will take some time.
As far as the agreement goes, you have to look at it.
Yes.
This is the final.
Yep, I've approved it. We made some changes. They agreed to them. They came back for teachers.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions if I could.
Yeah, of course.
How much more concrete or cement are you guys planning on putting in this thing?
Which one? So currently we have 3 projects going on.
Okay.
2 of them are running right now. The one that we're on that's going down Main Street, Front Street, Indiana, I'm guessing we probably have about 110,000 cubic yards of gravel. So it's not a concrete, it's very low strength material. Just going in the ground.
Fill type.
It is, yeah.
How much have you put in today
Yeah.
in Hannah?
Do you know that number, Dave?
I'd say roughly 27,000 cubic yards.
Well,
Yeah. So we put we put 17,000 in the elementary school last summer. And then the one in the football field, we're projecting right around 12,000 cubic yards drought. And then the one that this project is right around 15,000. So they're pretty massive quantities. And there has been previous mitigation area, which is sand so that didn't quite do what it was expected to do. So we're just trying to do this mitigation.
as far as the site being set up there, are we gonna have a secure site or not worried about anybody getting in anything?
As far as like the school board's liability,
Yes.
there'll be no, the school board is totally, they're not liable for anything that happens to CJ property. They're in charge of their own security, so I'm guessing that, police. I'm guessing they're probably in that.
That's all really, of course.
Yeah, but
That question came up at the town council, and he said that, he basically said they would do what they thought was necessary for security and extra lighting. And
Sure,
stuff.
I don't think.
They didn't really answer there. He did.
Just in case some curious kids get into you.
And we have 2 other batch plants set up in town right now. One north of the elementary school that we're using in one of the west end. We haven't had any issues with security so far. We realize that there's something right there when you come into town, so there is really cool.
Well, it hasn't been summertime over there yet.
Yeah, we worked there all last year as well. The 2 batch plants as well, we didn't have any issues.
No, you guys are doing great. I haven't heard a complaint one from.
Yeah, that's great.
And then lastly, when we doing the track in the football field over there, are we putting that to still a 440 track or is that a 400 track?
I know that it is staying the same size.
Okay, so
There was talk about turning it into a 6-lane track, but that was, never really gained any traction on that. So it's going back to 4-lane track. When we go through and do the grading, we're going to grade it as a 6-lane track. So if later on in the future, the school district decides to expand it, they're not having to go into a bunch of earthwork. And so it'll just be a little bit of grading, but right now it's just going back into the 4-lane track. Current size, there's not a lot of, the problem is now parcel of land the school district owns, there's not enough room to expand. But there is some improvements being made, as far as the track goes.
Well, I was just asking because if we shorten it to a 400, which the regulatory track of today instead of what it was back when that track was built, it'll actually shorten that up.
And I think we're not doing the fight the track design, 99% design are out in the review of the school district.
I have to look at that to see if they're gonna make it a 400.
Okay.
400 track, but I think we attached those drawings. I just have.
I think it's going to be a regulation size wise,
Yeah,
but it's going to still be a 4-lane.
right.
I think that's.
And then we put some knockouts in it so that you could run like the 100-meter hurdles. And so it should, I was told that after we make it, you guys could use it for hosting meetings or something on a smaller scale.
Very good, thank you.
I'm just curious what it's going to take to move the garden. Is it a big garden? What does that consist of?
It's not going to take a lot of effort on my part. I would say probably roughly 35, maybe 40 closure that has higher fence, maybe 8 football fence, between 6 and 8, it's kind of piecemeal together. If we were to find a permanent location for it, they'd like to be relocated. Pretty much everything's just going to have to be rebuilt, and so that's something that we have to rebuild. It'd be really hard to resolve it. It's something that's in our best interest. That we are going to just because of there's a lot of noise, pollution, a lot of dust pollution that comes off of the plant. It's difficult to really keep that area, I guess, under control where you're not contaminated.
Or tomatoes covered in cement. Right. What is, you don't want to eat tomatoes covered in cement dust?
Yeah, well, this is going to be a little bit different site. A lot of their fly ash cement's all going to be silos, so more it's like sand, the dust and much the sand. So, but as you know, it blows really hard and hard. You can only put it so much water. So hopefully, I think we can have to revisit the garden. Hopefully there's we'll work with it whenever we have to.
Any other questions? Let's discuss that.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the lease agreement with CCSD Construction Company, LLC for 7 months with extension rights at the HDS Central Staging Area.
Second.
We moved and seconded to agree to the lease with CCSD Construction Company LLC for 7 months with extension rights to old Hannah Elementary School site for staging area. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome. If you want, you go ahead and stay. Thank you very much. And the rest of the. This is the preliminary approval of the red board budget, and I don't know if Paul has anything to add or Sally. You can see the actual documents there.
We're gonna have quite a bit of cash reserve this year going over what we normally do. We try to keep it about 50. But there is a lot of funds from last year that have not been used as of yet. And if they all come and they all happen to do, we're gonna get really hit hard in so we kind of let them get in there. But next year, we'll try to get that cash reserve down just a little bit more. But we're able to fund $205,000 projects this year.
Did you get more requests than this?
Yeah, well, we kind of let the cat out of the bag. We got, I think it was like around 400,000, was it, Sally? Worth of original grant request. But last year we funded 100%. So that kind of let the cat out of the bag. So everybody started asking for more than since we funded 100%. But we was able to get quite a bit.
More questions for Paul? Sally?
Mr. Chair, I recommend that we approve the Carbon County School District number 2 preliminary budget for the 21 school year. Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the Carbon County School District 2 rec board preliminary budget for 21-22 school year as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, BOCES.
Just to consider the Carbon County School District number 2 BOCES preliminary budget, 21-22 school year is presented. Questions, go to Sally or Sally?
Basically, this is really preliminary. We kind of forgot about it for the last BOCES meeting and get it in before the BOCES board, so it's very preliminary, very rough. But I think it's fairly accurate. And, like I said, it's preliminary.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Carbon County School District number 2 BOCES preliminary budget for the 2021-2022 school year.
Second. Moved and seconded to approve the preliminary Carbon County School District 2 BOCES preliminary budget for the 2021-2022 school year as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Now the general fund budget.
Item B is to consider the Carbon County School District number 2 preliminary budget for the 21-22 school year is presented. You can see the figures there attached to that. Again, Sally can answer questions. You will just notice the total budget has been reduced to $800,000.
The preliminary budget, it says general fund in the title, but it is for all funds, the preliminary budget for all funds. And you do see that the funds available for the 21-22 general fund budget are at $17,500,000. That's probably a little bit low, but I'm going to the conservative, on the conservative. Our budget last year at this time was $18,300,000. So you're seeing a budget of $800,000. And basically that's because we had the extra revenue last year from the tax shortfall grant from the county treasurer. And so we had a little bit of extra money in the general fund last year. So this year I'm reducing the budget, just preliminary, and it's going to change between now and July ever so slightly because I don't have the final foundation model to tweak to know exactly what we're going to get as far as the foundation guarantee. And we don't know what our cash flow will have to see until June. So preliminary budget for the general fund is $17,500. And you see your other funds are capital construction. We do have $94,000 approved of money in capital construction for security projects. So that there lies your $100,000 in capital construction. Major maintenance fund, we have about $1.3 million right now, and we still have one more payment to receive from
major maintenance payments, and so, and we've been spending what we've gotten, with, dollars and dollars, so we're basically carrying over what we've got in the past. Food service fund, we're doing really well with our food service fund, we've only transferred $50,000 as a supplement this year so far, and that's because we're operating under the summer food program and getting higher reimbursements from the USDA. Employee benefit fund is dwindling down, we're almost done. I think we've got one employee that's either a year and a half or 2 years left to pay out, and we'll be done with the employee benefit fund. And we'll still have a balance to carry forward. Depreciation and reserve, we had up to 1.5 million. We used a little bit of it this year for Chromebooks and servers and different types of equipment that we replaced. And that's within the purpose of the depreciation reserve fund. So we've used it. Our grant fund, you'll notice, is higher because of the ESSER money, the CARES money, the ARP money, the federal government money that we're getting. Our grant money is higher. We trust funds in your scholarships and people activity. So I'm requesting approval of the preliminary budget for all funds of $23,636,000. No additional questions.
No questions? Take the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the school district number 2 preliminary budget for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Carbon County School District 2 preliminary budget for the 2021-2022 school year as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item E, F and G are all related about the locker room, bathroom, basement projects.
As you probably remember, the deadline for these bids was 1 o'clock today, so I did add some comments. You may or may not have even noticed that I added some comments after that. So just to remind everybody a little bit, we did advertise for bids back in March. We received no bids. So we decided to re-advertise one more time to see what was out there. We did only receive one bid. We did receive some phone calls of interest, but only one actual bid that came in. And that was from Hope Construction and Investments LLC. This is a person that Matt knew and had talked to some. I talked to Matt a little bit about him. Then I also called Jerry Gonzalez this afternoon and just had a visit with him. He did bid on all three. He's just an interesting side note. He is from Carbon County. He served on the school board over Carbon County 1 back in the 80s, he said. So he's very familiar with the county. I guess the thing with, the main question I asked him, did he handle all three jobs and could he finish by the middle of August? Because it's a pretty big deal that they need to be usable by the time school starts next year. His main concern was getting all the materials here on time. He said, for example, the petitions that he's called and checked on, he's been told that it would be at least an eight week out. That puts it around the 1st of August, a little bit before that, I suppose. He said that he would work late and all that, but I guess there's just no guarantee. Construction business is a little different right now. Number one, things are a lot higher. And number two, just the availability in general. So in thinking about all of this, we had gotten an informal just estimate for one of the jobs last March from a local person. And they had given an estimate, and I was using him, well, that's the one they gave an estimate for. It was about $123,000. They still bid for a campus 215. Part of the reason is he's from out of town, so he's got a board and feed and all his crew. So he said, I'm surprised I'm even in the running. I don't think he knows he's the only bid we've done, obviously, because he knew his cost would be more. So I guess my question is this something that, you know, would it be wise to pause this and start earlier next year where they can order, he can order things starting tomorrow, but of course he hasn't ordered anything because we haven't approved the bid. So I'm just wondering if it might be wiser to see if things are gonna go down in price, to start earlier, to start over next year. I'm just a little insecure about doing these pretty major renovations. A company, you know, out of Casper that's got to get the crews here, and mainly just by his own comments about the availability of material. So, you know, I'm open to your thoughts and discussions. I guess one option would be to just not accept these bids and then start earlier again next year and try to see what we can do. Or we could accept the bids and move forward and realize it's an out-of-town company that's going to be some increased cost of that, and just the fact that the whole construction environment right now is pretty different than normal.
Mike, Stephen, JD, any comments?
Yeah.
I saw Mike acting like he.
This is a project that Josh and I started back in February for this year. Based on what's been happening, I would be very, very nervous that we would get it done. And not having my locker rooms or bathrooms on that end of the building where the gyms are, and trying to do football and volleyball, that's going to be incredibly difficult. It was one thing this year when the vestibule project got delayed and working around that. But it would be a completely different thing to do that. And I'm speaking from the situation of years ago, 15 years ago, we redid the gym floor in the old gym, took out the wood and put in what's in there now. That didn't finish until December. And we had to have the kids go around and use the outside entrance into the locker rooms, the science room at the time. And we weren't able to use the gyms for practice and stuff. And that was incredibly difficult. I'm really nervous about this and the timeline, especially we're 17th of May right now. So that's my concern. I am, whatever the board decides, we'll go with it. But I would be very nervous about trying to start it out. The one local company that Josh and I worked with got that bid from early on in the process. The reason they gave us for not bidding was because they said we just cannot feel confident in the supply chain at all. So we're not going to do that to you. So.
I did get one call, just as one other comment, I did get a call today from a local company that just now found a plumber that was available and might be, but again, late in the day. I'm just thinking, I'm like Mike, I'm pretty nervous about moving forward right now with these. And if we can, again, we started in March, we just didn't get any bid in the form of bids in the first round. So that's kind of delayed, but even maybe in February, start earlier next year, right after the first, see what we can do. There might be some local companies that might be more interested if supplies change or better, and see what happens. But that's kind of where I'm leaning on. I hadn't really had a chance to talk to Mike and the principals, but that's kind of what I was looking to. So,
JD or Stephen, would you have anything that disagrees with that?
I don't have anything that disagrees with that. I remember doing the remodel on the office area, and we were about the same time frame of putting out the bids, and ordering the materials was what held us back.
And we'll have a delay in our gym, this is where we're redoing it this year, so there will be a period from June to middle of July anyways, that nobody can get into our locker rooms for that period too.
I guess that's my recommendation.
Any other questions about that?
I would agree with the principals, in fact, with the unknown factor of supplies and materials. You don't have those locker rooms and bathrooms torn up when the school starts. So I would be rather hesitant to move accepting this bid at this time.
Yeah, I agree, materials have just gone insane. Michelle is selling sheets of OSB for $100 down per column right now, when it used to be $10. So I think we just mothball the whole thing, like you say, start earlier. Now we've got all our bases, as long as these will last another year. That would be my recommendation.
I think the best timing would be to do it right after basketball season, because the track season, a lot of, they might change, but we could find another location to change. You don't see a lot of showering and using the locker rooms for track season, and then that gives us all the way through track, summer, to get a project like that done.
How much material is involved? As far as.
There's a lot of time.
For us, it's like 2,500 square feet of tile just in our facility alone, so it's. That's what we figured is that the labor on the tile is gonna be the biggest thing, out. I don't know if you get the tile.
To be all fixtures.
You don't want me to really get past the crunch on the order materials. Get the materials ordered in. And then you can start the construction when you're ready. I don't think next year can be much better as far as material.
If we could get the bids in early enough, they could order materials back in February, March, and then if they were here by the day school's out, for example, or whenever we could start it after, whatever they won't come up with, then it's just the labor at that point. But again, that's a guess, you're right, they did not go down at all, it's what's priced. Maybe the availability might be a little better, but who knows?
We had a local contractor at 120, and then this guy's at 215. So maybe, yeah.
I'll put it on my calendar in the process in January, so perhaps you can have these to approve at your January board meeting, and once you approve this, and then start the process of the materials and everything, for like April, May, you get started in the next season. So if we start the process in January, they have to approve the bids in January board meeting, does that seem exciting?
And even if we let them order the materials that first March, we'll be able to at least pay for the material for that while they have it, before they install it.
Yeah, if you, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, if you award the bid in January, then they have the power to order the materials, and we can pay them along, just like we've done with the outdoor enhancements project. Pay for the materials that they can store, and then when they get ready to do the labor, they can pay for the labor.
Okay, item 8, would be student handbooks.
Well, these are the annual thing with the handbooks. You've seen them, you've seen the highlights and the various ones. Principals are here to answer questions. If anybody has any. They can enumerate any major changes they think are major, but one out or not, so every board will be some of these times.
Mr. Chairman,
Wait, Karen.
I wondered, why that we changed, birthday snacks and holiday parties to prepackaged for commercial kitchen stuff at the elementary schools.
And notice we use the word should be, which we discussed a little bit. Darren, if you want to talk, or even the elementary principals want to visit about where that day was.
So it's, I guess that's kind of what the current practice is, working with our teachers. It alleviates some of the issues with our teachers trying to screen which snacks come from good homes and good kitchens and which snacks don't. So we use the word should be prepackaged, not they have to be. So the teacher can use, hopefully a little bit of discretion when they're talking about snacks and things like that.
So you could still see like your Halloween party, letting parents and stuff bring snacks that are cupcakes.
Yes, just, we just, can't control all the environments. It has really nothing, I mean, maybe it does have something to do with COVID, but in our school, it has nothing to do with COVID. It's just, we couldn't control all of the kitchens and that these goods were being made in, so it just keeps our life simpler to say they need to be prepackaged. Kind of a trend for the rest of the country, to be honest with you. It hasn't ever been in my schools, but the teachers really liked that idea. They could control it that way, and there wasn't any question about the quality of food that was being served at parties.
The other piece I would add is it also helps, I have several kids with allergies in my building, and having prepackaged or commercially made makes it a lot easier to make sure that they're safe for the kids than something that comes out of the home.
I have kids with allergies and stuff, so I understand that. I do also like to teach them that you have to know your stuff and know what you're eating, but I understand, like, I was just wondering how that changed. No, this is probably for you, maybe not. The Schoology, are we still gonna use Power School, or are we going just to Schoology? Because they don't work very well together, do they?
Yeah, so Power School is our student information system. That's what we use to store and communicate grades. Schoology, whatever you want to pronounce it. That is primarily a system to communicate with students, assignments and communication directly with teachers about what they're going on in their classroom. I think it's debated a little bit about how they function together. We've had some misses, I guess is the best way to put it, this year, where they have not communicated well. But sometimes it's teacher user error. Sometimes it's just situations that we're not quite sure.
That settings.
The exact settings we need to have in place.
We were hopeful they would communicate better together because Power, I may have to back, but I think Power School acquired Schoology a year ago. So we were hopeful that, that they would get rid of some of the bugs between the two. So we have gone back there the year just because we had a bunch of issues that grades, you go through Power School with grades like we used to do. And that Schoology is used more as a communication between students and teachers and administration and staff and that sort of thing.
Cause I noticed like my grades are different, like when I look at the kids' grades or like it tells me, then they'll be like, no, it's not that, and then they'll bring up Schoology. And it'll be, it won't be, they won't be consistently the same.
Power School is the one.
Yeah, I would say at minimum, because I don't know what it's going to look like in the future, but I would always want our school grades to be most accurate. As opposed to a different approach with Schoology. Not to put down, I guess, the Schoology platform.
It just hasn't worked as promised.
Well, that's, the kids.
As far as the grades.
Well, the kids actually told me that Power School wasn't as accurate as, well, whatever it is.
Maybe they're accurate as higher in school.
It was, their grades were always higher on Schoology, so.
We've struggled with that. In fact, teachers and Andy and Ed and several people have worked with that a lot.
All I can suggest is that you have the teachers contact us because they should be the exact same thing and we can work on it until it is.
Okay.
Normally, Nanette's found that there's some setting, so.
That was all my questions.
Anything from the principals that you would want to point out? Or significant changes? Okay. We need a motion to approve these.
Mr. Chairman, that your compensation handbooks in 2021-2022 school year as presented. Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the student handbooks for the 2021-2022 school year as presented. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, Motion carries. Item 10 is the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 11A, financial information treasurer. Sorry, that we voted on.
We just did.
Oh, we didn't, honestly. I'm sorry.
Good trick us up. Let's go on.
I was concentrating on how I was going to approach the treasury report.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the balance in the general fund at the end of April was $4,914,641.56. You see there your revenue, your expenses, your reimbursed expenses, your bills, and your payroll. In this section 2, you see your major receipts coming from the foundation program and the Carbon County Treasurer. And in section 3, you see your investments in the various rates and maturities. We have now cashed in all of our CDs, so we're earning 11% interest, and knowing that the money market at Limestone and this best interest rate at this point in time. We think with a lot of money, we get more interest. But we'll keep watching those interest rates and the money where it earns the best rate. Do you have any questions regarding the general fund? On page number 2, you have your financial report for your other funds. You have your grants and their various balances at this point in time. You see your comparison from payroll for April 2020 to April 2021. And I had to ask Donna, I said, why is there such a big difference between the two payrolls? And we came down, April last year was pre-COVID this year. And so we had people not working. And so because of the, I looked at a couple of aides and their payroll was significantly lower last year than it is this year. And finally it was like, COVID started, and that's what happened to the business. Yeah. So, and your scholarships, there were no new scholarships issued during the month of April. You see your different balances, your expenditures and revenues, and your employee benefit fund, the maintenance fund, the capital construction, depreciation reserve, the lunch fund, the capital activity fund, the hand activity fund, and the serotonin activity fund. Do you have any questions regarding the other funds? Do you have any questions regarding the summaries of revenue and expenditures that were in the proposals? We're on track for the spending as far as percentage of budget, and our revenues are down, and we kind of expected that. So that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the following bills. General fund, $211,848.39. Federal fund, $150,979.21. Major maintenance fund, $134,045.76. Depreciation reserve fund, $8. Hot lunch fund, $33,465.20. Encampment activity account, $4,306.11. HANA activity account, $2,747.63. Saratoga Schools activity account, $7,239.07. For a total of $544,639.37. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the bills in grand total of $544,639.37. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. June bill committee would be Miller, Condon, and Western. Okay, moving on to items from the board. 12A, review board governance leadership policy tab 1.02. Regarding board member communication and interaction. Any questions, issues, comments, anybody saw? Hearing none, we'll move on to item B, policies and regulations exhibits.
These are just the four that are under review or proposed for review. We are not proposing any changes. Just for review.
Okay, the first one, JICFA, is harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Anybody see anything, comments, issues? Okay, the next one, JP, is 300 reduced price meal. It's simple.
I just wanted to point out the date this was last done.
1985.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Okay. JQ, student trips. Any comments? Concerns? Lastly is JQ-E, which is just that exhibit one JQ. Trips. Being policies, we need a motion for first three.
We'll just mark it, so we'll be. That's
Okay. All right, item C, got a real nice letter there saying they want to call back. Oh, thank you.
I don't know why, but I've been there another year or 2 days, unless somebody else wants to do it.
Nobody thumbs up, so we want to reappoint. Thanks, Paul, appreciate you. Georgia, you got anything else to say about the 506?
I don't have anything to add. Yes.
Nice when we come down on trips.
I think like you pointed out that day schools are making a great addition to their program and it's giving some more opportunity for struggling kids.
Thank you. Okay, item E, board member comments. I'll start with this way. I appreciate Dana McCreary having the courage to come in and talk and say how she felt. To me, that just reiterates that, you know, if we're having some issues with staff members, just to be honest with them, clear with them. Seems like there might have been some confusion about his work performance. You know, we can't do anything about communication between an employee and their spouse. You know, and the other thing, what she did have to say at the end, I think is for each of us, like, one thing is a challenge to think, okay, are we being good at our positions or our jobs? Just to be honest with ourselves. So I think that's just to me a reminder to, as administrators, it's your responsibility to be honest with your staff and their performance. And we would encourage them to be honest with themselves too. And for us, the board members, we do a good job. We can't do anything about honesty with spouses. So. And to clarify, I feel like there is no issues with ACLU or anything else, discrimination.
One thing I can't understand, sometimes you can be clear and just, there's not agreement.
Right.
Just to make that clear.
Yeah. So I appreciate it. If you're gonna have an issue, appreciate having the courage to come.
Congratulations to Mr. Bolton and Teresa. All the best, you're definitely going to be missed. Congratulations to all the graduates. As a school board member, this is my favorite time of year, just as a really good reminder of what we're trying to accomplish as board members, and it's just really exciting. So, and thank you everyone to for a really great school year. Hope everyone has a great summer.
On the first two, I'd also like to recognize and say thank you to the principals for the jobs that they do. They're not only looking after the kids, making sure they're learning, but they have maintenance, construction, and things that they have to coordinate also. I appreciate that. It takes a lot. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thanks to Dan for coming from Region 5 Trustees. It's always good to hear a little bit more about it. Congratulations again to the track teams and good luck at state. Welcome our new teachers, Jordan, Anne Marie, and Todd. And best of luck to Mr. Perkins and they will definitely be missed in the community. Robin, congratulations for the special ed district determination meeting requirements. And of course, congratulations to our graduates.
Yeah, big ditto on all that stuff. Congratulations to the graduates. Congratulations to the staff, principals and teachers everywhere. We're about to land the plane on a year where it's been a pretty lucky ride. So, coming through none the worse for wear, I think. So thanks to your efforts. Greatly appreciate that. Congratulations to our district track stars. Pleased to hear about their success. Proud of them and their efforts. Also, thank you, Robin, and ditto what Georgia said on meeting your state requirements, but also having, you mentioned in your presentation, also having additional goals to extend those services and achieve more. So that was wonderful. I appreciate that. So, thank you.
Congratulations to our track kids and good luck at state. We're gonna miss the vocal ones like crazy here. Who's gonna die in here, it's very sad. And my kids will just be torn apart, so Todd has big shoes to fill when he comes up there. I'm sure he's well aware of that. And I would pretty much echo everyone's comments. I did attend the National Honor Society. If anybody's looking for a speech giver at their graduation, Darren would make a great one. He gave a really good speech about how life's not fair, and I loved it because he said if life was fair, he'd be 6'5" playing football with Josh Allen. And also said that JD would have been in Wyoming a lot earlier than he ever got here, so I had to add you in. Good night. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to the end of the school year. Like Nick said, it's been a bumpy ride and we've made it through relatively unscathed. So appreciate everyone's hard work on it. Yeah. It's a huge concern.
I'd just like to congratulate everybody that got anything to do with the school year as far as principals, the admin, teachers, of course, all the way down. This has been a wild ride. Unprecedented times. You guys are rock stars for the whole thing. Great, appreciate it. Congratulations to the track kids, to the kids that are graduating, and then also to Mr. for his retirement. And thanks again for the rec board. Next month's our dinner. I miss that. Appreciate it.
Congratulations to Scott Oakman on his retirement. Thank him for his service and all the cool stuff those kids have made me over the years. They've basically decorated my whole house, so I'm gonna miss that. I hope we get somebody up there that continues with that. Congratulations to the middle school and high school track kids. The middle school had the best of the best and the high school had regionals. I watched on Friday some of those kids that ran the 2 mile ran in Wyoming wind, which was pretty intense. I actually stood inside. It didn't stand outside for it because it was raining and stuff. Amber Studs did a phenomenal job running that. that girl just cooked along and Marilee wasn't far behind her, so it's a lot of fun to watch them all, and we have phenomenal athletes with phenomenal academics. It makes it awfully fun to watch them compete. I also had the pleasure today of driving down by and seeing the kids riding their bikes. And you'd be surprised to know that I saw an awfully big kindergartner, not a big kid, but a big kindergartner out there on his bike. Mr. Jennings was also riding his bike with the kindergartners. I thought that was pretty good. I enjoyed that our staff and our principals get involved in everything, and our kids sometimes with the kids. That just makes their bond with the kids so much better. So we appreciate you guys all loving on our kids.
Okay, well, it's hard to really add to anything that everybody said. I do want to say it's actually been a good year. And I want to say thank you and congratulations to the administration, the staff, and the support staff also for keeping the minimum number of lost contact days between students and teachers. And it's really been good because there really hasn't been a whole lot of missed time. So that's well worth congratulations. And plus, I want to bring up maybe a subject for the next workshop. As we are all aware of, there's a great turmoil in society right now, but also in the education field. When I saw that the governor of Washington State made it mandatory that schools there teach the critical race theory. We have the critical race theory, the systemic racism, the 1619 project. And all of these things, I think we need to discuss at a workshop at what our standing as a board and as a school district is going to be. I just want to suggest that for the next workshop. So anyway, it's been a great year. Looking forward to graduation. Looking forward to handing out diplomas to the graduates, and looking forward to a good summer. Thank you.
Good, thank you guys. We will have an executive session to discuss offers for wages, salary, benefits, and other terms. So,
Mr. Chair, I move that we go into executive session to discuss accepting or tendering offers concerning wages, salaries, benefits, and other terms of employment.
Second. We have a second to go into executive session and tender offers concerning wages, salaries, benefits, and other terms of employment. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. There will be action after the executive session. To come out of executive session. Moved and seconded to come out of executive session and approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? 15A, consider the recommendations of the salary and benefit committee.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the recommendations of the Salary Benefits Committee, including the 2 central office positions of $1,100 a year.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the recommendation of the salary and benefit committee, as well as giving superintendent, business manager, step increase equal to that of the principals. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next regularly scheduled school board meeting will be Monday, June 21st, 6 p.m., which is a different time, and at the central office, which is a different location. Meeting adjourned.